Good night, guys. So, as you can see from the title below, this is gonna be one of those like spicy videos where I have an opinion on something and we need to get to the bottom of it. So, without further ado, girl, let's jump into the video. All right, so y'all know I'm always on Twitter. My original Twitter got suspended because I was being problematic on there, and you know what? It is what it is, girl. It is what it is. Now, on this new Twitter, I was minding my business one morning and there was this like thing from Reddit or whatever. I don't know. I don't have the app. I just think that's like, from what I understand of Reddit, it's just a thing where people go on anonymously and kind of like talk about their woes or confess things or whatever the case may be. So this particular one was about a guy that was dating a girl, got married to the girl. Okay, so let me back up and explain. So apparently, like, they were together. Old girl had like a husband at 18 and he died tragically or something like that, and she had like a hang up on Valentine's Day, right? So old dude that she ended up dating, when they were going through the dating phase or whatever, like the first Valentine's Day they were together, he did something for her, obviously, like most women want something done on Valentine's Day, and he was like, you know, she accepted it or whatever. But then, like, as other Valentine's Days went on, she was saying like she wasn't into it and like, you know, it's just a stupid holiday or whatever, like really being passive aggressive about the holiday. So, you know, whatever, eventually she ended up saying that she and her ex-husband that is now dead I didn't mean to say it like that, but you know, her dead husband, child, they got married on Valentine's Day. So like, I guess it holds a significant place in her life or whatever. So old dude fell back for all the years. I think the story said that they were dating for 6 years or something like that. So old dude wasn't doing nothing for 6 years, even though he was really into Valentine's Day and he was really into expressing like his love and stuff like that or whatever. He suppressed that for her, being patient for her to like, you know, eventually get over her hang up. In the story, it mentions that, you know, she stopped having, first of all, homegirl was having breakdowns and locking herself in bathrooms and shit over this man that she lost or whatever, like her ex-husband that died or whatever. But my whole thing is, from then, like from the jump, it's like, why are you entertaining somebody? Like, why are you dating somebody if you're clearly not over being a widow? You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the first thing that struck me as a red flag, because it's like, old dude already know the deal, whatever. So he was being patient with her and he was, you know, trying to understand, like, you know, I get it, like, you're grieving or whatever, like, I feel you. So comes year 7, they're married, and it was their first year as a married couple. And in the story, it says that she stopped like bringing up the dead husband. She stopped having like meltdowns and stuff over him. So he assumed that, I guess, it was safe to resume, you know, trying to do stuff for Valentine's Day. And I guess he wanted to start their own tradition as a married couple. So homeboy said he spent $100 on a bouquet of flowers, brought it home, and homegirl lost her shit, okay? Homegirl lost her shit, grabbed the flowers and started charging to like their dumpster or whatever, wherever they live, their apartment complex or whatever, screaming and hollering and shouting all the way, girl, and like threw it away. So now I'm reading like, hold on, but so then like she came back or whatever and she was just ignoring him pretty much. Like she was just giving him the silent treatment. And I'm just like, how are you giving somebody the silent treatment for trying to do something nice for you? Now, the thing that bugged me out was the person that shared the story on Twitter. Like, okay, so he did something, right? He did something really bad, and I'm gonna get to that in a second. But the person that shared the story was just pretty much like, oh, he's a bad husband and I hope she never goes back to him. Okay, girl. So, all right, that whole situation happened or whatever where she like bugged out on him and threw away the flowers. So now it's hours later, he's trying to get her to talk to him, he's trying to like communicate or whatever, and sister girl is ignoring him. So that sends him into a fit of rage. Now, sister girl had her first wedding ring, which was the ring old dead dude gave her, right? Somewhere in a box in her drawer, her sock drawer or her panty drawer or something, girl. I can't remember what the story said. So he said, you know, he started asking her like, you know, is he like a placeholder? Like, is he like a rebound? Like, does she even love him? You know, things like that. He did mention somewhere in the story that like she always showed him love and stuff and whatever. But my whole thing is like, the fact that in a situation like that, he felt the need to ask, like, am I a placeholder? Like, am I a rebound? That means that deep down inside, he always tend to like feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, he always probably felt like he wasn't good enough for her. Like, he was in competition with a dead man, right? So homegirl continued ignoring him, and you know, he flew off the handle, girl. He said he flew off the motherfucking handle, grabbed a hammer, flew to her little sock drawer or her panty drawer, wherever she was holding her original wedding ring or whatever, and started smashing that shit. And that was when she had a reaction. Like, that was the only time after the original breakdown of her like freaking out over him buying the flowers. Like, that was the only time after that like she really said anything to him, was when he started smashing her ring, like her original ring or whatever. And you know, he was just in a fit of rage. Like, he's never felt himself that angry. Like, he couldn't control it. It's like something came over him and he just couldn't control it, girl. He just started destroying the ring. And is when she started like screaming and like crying and yelling out for the ring, is when he stopped. And you know, when he realized what he had done, you know, in his fit of rage, he was just like, oh my gosh. And you know, obviously like that didn't make the situation any better. So like homegirl was already packing a little duffel bag or whatever to go wherever she was going. So she just grabbed her shit and left. And like, you know, he was like begging her not to leave, like begging her to stay and like talk to him. And she wasn't trying to communicate. My thing is, okay, here's my stance. Because I was going back and forth with people in the comments. I'm like, you can't say that he's a horrible husband and she should never go back to him, when first of all, he's been real fucking patient, okay? Real fucking patient, if you ask me. Because at the ending of the day, like, if I was a dude and I got with a girl and she started having panic attacks and breakdowns over a dead nigga, first of all, I'd been like, okay, girl, bye. Because clearly you're hung up over somebody that's not here, that's not in the physical realm anymore, and I don't have time for that. I'm not gonna be in competition with somebody that's dead. And the thing that really annoyed me with the whole caption was like, I just know that if the shoe was on the other foot, the same girl would have been like, like, girl, you need to leave him alone, girl. Clearly he's not over his dead wife, girl. You need to leave him alone. But how you gonna say he's not a good husband when dude been patient and understanding for over 6 years? It's like, you know what it is to deal with somebody that still has that amount of love for somebody, to the point where, I don't know, a simple day is still getting them hung up and in their feelings. Like, I would have felt the same way he felt. I would have been like, oh girl, am I like a placeholder or something? Because no ma'am, like, why are you still hung up over this dude 6, 7, 8 years, you know, later? Like, it's time to let it go, sweets. If you still in love with a dead man, then you need to let me go. Like, you need to not waste my time any further. That's what you need to do. You need to stop doing. So I think I said, first of all, both of them are wrong. Both of them. He's wrong, obviously, and he admitted that. He was like, you know what, like, that's, like, I don't even know what happened. Like, I was just so upset. Like, oh my God, like, I didn't even recognize, like, myself and how angry I got. And, like, I never meant to do that, and I clearly shouldn't have destroyed her ring or whatever. Like, he admitted his fault, and he took accountability for his actions. But I had women coming down my neck talking about, oh, well, she relived a traumatic experience, like he opened back that wound for her by getting her flowers. Okay, first of all, it's been 7 years, probably 8 or 9 years since dude passed. You're not supposed to be feeling this way about him. That's just where I'm at with the whole situation. If you're in a whole new different situation and you're married, you're not supposed to be feeling no way over your dead ex, bro. Like, that's just where I'm at. Like, if you feel that way, then you need not be with nobody else's son, honey. If you still hung up over a dead man, then you need not to entertain nobody else. You just need to be a Lauren London of the world or something. Just stay your ass alone until you're done grieving. That's what you need to do. Because what happens is, and I really hope they can work on their marriage and they recover that. But my thing is, what's gonna happen is, if that marriage is over and they end up getting a divorce, he's not gonna be willing to put himself out there anymore to the extent that he did for homegirl. And that's kind of like traumatizing him. This is how the cycle of ain't shit men begins, because you gonna go ahead and scar him like that. And he's going to be like, you know what? I gave my all to a girl that was still in love with a dead man. I'm not doing that for any other woman. That is the deepest hurt I have ever experienced. I ain't finna do it again. I ain't finna put myself out there again. And what he's going to do is he's going to shut down emotionally, right? So if they can't work on their marriage and get past that and they end up getting a divorce, what's going to happen is I just don't feel like he's gonna be as open anymore to another woman, and he's not gonna be as thoughtful and as considerate, because now he's scarred. You gave him a scar around Valentine's Day, you know what I'm saying? Something that he loved and he really liked to celebrate. Now you done scarred him because you were scarred. See, this is why they say hurt people hurt people. If you're not in a place to accept love, or to accept the fact that your new partner really loved Valentine's Day and really wanted to go the extra mile for you on Valentine's Day to make you feel even more special than he probably do every other day, then it's like, you just need to be by yourself, sis. I would feel terrible if I was an old dude. I'm just saying, people needed to put themselves in his shoes. Like, how would you feel if you were with a man and his wife died 8-9 years ago and he's still getting hung up and emotional over her? Like, obviously you would feel some type of way, and after a certain amount of time you'd be like, you know what, I need to exit stage left, because clearly you still in love with old girl. I felt some type of way, so I was just like, listen, I wasn't backing down on that little Twitter thread. I said, no honey. I don't think he was wrong initially for thinking that because she stopped having breakdowns over him and mentioning him less, I don't think he was wrong to feel like, oh, maybe she's over him, because what do people do when they get over things? They stop talking about it, right? Like, typically that's what the fuck happens. When you get over something or someone, you stop talking about them. They become invisible to you. So he's probably thinking like, oh shit, like she stopped locking herself in bathrooms and having panic attacks and breakdowns over this dude. Like, okay, maybe she's over him finally. And now as a married couple, I've suppressed wanting to celebrate this holiday with her for so long while we were a couple. Maybe now that we're married, we can start our own tradition around it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I was thinking he was at with his head, like with his thinking when he bought the roses. You feel me? And it's like, he just started off small by buying roses. It's not like he had a whole reservation or something. Like, he knew the situation and he decided to ease his way back into the situation by being like, okay, let's start with some flowers. You know what I'm saying? I felt like this is where communication is important, and whether it's in a partnership or a marriage, like, this is where communication comes in. If she was still feeling that way, even if him bringing the flowers opened that wound again for her and it cut her so deep, if anything, she could have just did like she used to do and run in the bathroom and have a breakdown. But to grab the flowers that he clearly spent money on, to go barreling to your dumpster to throw it away whilst making a scene for the whole damn complex to know, first of all, that's embarrassing. I don't know about y'all, but I get embarrassed easily. Like, don't embarrass me, okay? Okay, don't embarrass me. So I feel like, number one, that's embarrassing. Like, you're over here hauling ass to the dumpster, screaming and crying because he bought you flowers. Because he bought you flowers, girl. Embarrassing this man over a dead man that been dead for 8 or 9 years. Like, girl, get a grip, girl. Girl. Oh, he opened an emotional wound for her. It shouldn't have been a fucking emotional wound 8 years later, bitch. That's the point. That's the point I'm getting to. If you're still feeling this way over a dead man, you need not to be entertaining another man. And that's just my stance on it. Period. Because if I was feeling that way for somebody, and for some reason I just couldn't get over old dude, I wouldn't have been trying to entertain nobody. I would have stayed by myself. I'd have been like, you know what? No, like, I'm not in a place to date. I'm not in a place to entertain nobody else. Like, I'm clearly not over my dead mans. And I need that time to get over my dead mans. So I appreciate you for hollering, pimping, but that's just not where I'm at right now with life. And call it a day. But you don't get with somebody, put them through that emotional ringer, and even though they're, you know what I'm saying, like, and they're being so patient with you and understanding, and then on the end for motherfuckers to turn around and say, you a bad husband? You a bad husband for wanting to start your own tradition with your new wife on Valentine's Day. So, Chelle, that's where I felt, girl, that's where I felt like everybody had the whole situation fucked up. I'm like, no. My whole thing is, if you just at a place in life where you're not over your dead spouse, honey, you need not get into a different marriage. And that's just what it is. So, let me know. Sound down in the comments. Let me know how you feel about the situation, because I just feel like it was bullshit. And I feel like, honestly, if the shoe was on the other foot, many women, like that same woman would have been like, girl, you need to leave him. He's still hung up over his dead wife. Honey, you in competition with a dead woman. You need to leave. I feel like that's how it would have gone down if the shoe was on the other foot. But because it's a man, I felt like it was just unfair. And if anybody knows me, y'all know I don't cap for men. Period. Y'all know I don't cap for men. I drag men on the daily on Twitter. Y'all know that. So I don't even want nobody in my comments talk about you a pick me. You bitch, I'm far from. I just recognize wrong. Wrong is wrong is wrong is wrong. And that's that. He was wrong and she was wrong. To try to put the blame solely on him because he too had an emotional response to her emotional response. It's like, hello, tort law. Have y'all ever learned about tort law and how do I say that word wrong? Tort law. Have y'all ever learned about tort law in philosophy? Like, hello, her reaction created a reaction. Had she not reacted that way, he probably would have lost his shit and cracked her ring. Okay? But think about it. If you're trying to rectify a problem and you have somebody ignoring you, you're going to do one of two things. It's either you're going to fly into, especially since he was harboring those feelings already, as far as feeling like he wasn't adequate enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine not feeling you're adequate enough for your partner. They're ignoring you after you done tried to do something nice. And you know what I'm saying? Like, that's enough to make anybody lose their temper. So, I don't know, y'all. Sound off in the comments below and tell me what you think. Communication is important. This is where communication will either make or break your marriage. And clearly, their shit is on the rocks because neither of them communicated. So, yeah, let me know, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Mwah.